We have had very good discussions on mainly 2 points. First of all, the overall economic situation in Europe. We need to get back to the discussion on competitiveness in Europe, and we will have these discussions throughout the spring, starting with the informal summit meeting that Herman Van Rompuy is calling in beginning of February. And that will come very much, of course, to employment issues, taxation issues, how to get out of the crisis that we have now been living through and still are living with in many of our member countries. It will be very much also on how we should get a greener economy and also how we should view the facts of university, higher education standards throughout Europe in these kind of discussions. And that will follow all through the spring, and I think that will be very good timing to have that kind of discussion now. Secondly, we discussed coming out of Copenhagen and Copenhagen Accord, what should happen now with the climate issue. And well, first of all, we are trying throughout January to get as many as possible to sign up to the accord in itself. It was, of course, not the kind of especially mitigation efforts that the world needs. But I think basically the kind of agreement we see in the accord is something to build upon. It has a financing part. We need clearly more mitigation efforts. And we had a lot of discussion, how could you actually get that in place? I think part of the confusion was that we were actually 193 countries talking about climate. But it's also important to say that if you look just at the emissions, 90% of the emissions are actually coming from European Union and additional 16 countries. So it's maybe we should better reflect that when it comes to mitigation effort, because that was the main problem to my mind. We need probably to talk more directly to the ones who are really responsible to try to get further. And that is part of how to go on with the process, coming to meetings that is foreseen both in Bonn later this spring and of course at the COP16 in Mexico. If no lessons are learned, we will have the same discussion again, and probably not with a better result. So therefore this is very important for us to discuss on how to go further with the climate issue in itself. Last, since I was partly engaged in the discussions leading to the appointment of Herman Van Rompuy, I must really partly hope for a success in your work. I think with this new capacity in place, it starts a new era for European Union with a stronger coordination also of the Council, which has been asked for, and I've seen also when it could be a good thing, and there are a lot of expectations on Herman to deliver on that. So a very good discussion today, and warmly welcome to Stockholm.